Hello, hello. Today we've got something pretty special. We're going to be opening the Lorwyn Eclipsed collector booster box. So I'm pretty lucky that I got this at a decent price. These can be pretty pricey. I got mine for about €200. I think in the UK they're going right now for about 320, £330. I'm not going to be tracking how much these are going for on each card, but obviously you can check that yourself. There's a lot of good cards in here. Obviously, other than the serialized cards, really hoping for maybe some showcase cards or anything. But ultimately, I just really love this set. I already did my pre-release and really loved that. I think it's a great set mechanically, and the art is just so fantastic. So, without further ado, let's get this open. So we're gonna do this one by one. Pop this to the side here. So, pack one of Lorwyn Eclipsed Collector Booster. So as I said, showcases and the serialized cards are the best things to open here, but ultimately it's a great set. You can't really go wrong with anything in these. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got our commons up front. We've got a Prideful Feastling, Summit Sentinel, Riverguard Reflexes, Tweeze, Kulrath Mystic, Burden Stoneback, Crib Swap, Boulder Dash, Lofty Dreams, Mountain with some really nice foil art there, and then into our rares, Flitterwing Nuisance, Flying ends with -1/-1, and you can remove counters, Sudden Verdure, not a shock land, but still pretty nice land. Fluent Imperfect Naturalist, legendary creature, elf druid. When it enters mill 4, and then you can put a creature or land card from among the milled cards on top of your library. It's pretty nice, nice extended art. Oh, then we've got Mutable Explorer. I'm really pleased with this. I really love the art on all the shapeshifter cards in this set, in this sort of like fairy tale style art. It's really nice. Very happy. Champion of the Weird. So I think there's a whole set of these across the different colors. So this is the Goblin Champion. I definitely know there's a Merfolk one as well that I opened in pre-release, but very nice. And then our art card. Cool, very nice. Okay, pack 2, here we go. Get that pack rubbish out of the way. There we go. Okay, starting with a Keep Out, then Chitinous Graspling, Sundappled Celebrant, Anti-Sentence, Flamekin Guildweaver, Meander's Guide, Sting Slinger, Deep Channel Duelist, Clachan Festival, lovely Swamp there, Hallowed Fountain. Ooh, lovely, that is a shockland indeed. Very nice, so in Azorius colors. Then Ashling the Limitless. So this is one of the commanders from the pre-constructed decks, the precons. This is actually the one I pre-ordered, so I'm expecting to pick this up later this week. But yeah, pretty fun for elemental decks. Can cheat things out, get their effects without paying the cost directly. Then we got Tristan's Command. Again, that really lovely fairy tale style art. So it's Kindred Sorcery Elf. You choose 2, so you can either create a token of an elf. You can return 1 or 2 permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand, destroy target creature or enchantment, or creatures target player controls get +3/+3 till the end of turn and untap them. That is pretty good. I do like that. Then we've got Harmonized Crescendo, and then a Deep Way Navigator with Flash. Very nice. Okay, next pack here. On to pack 3. So yeah, I really enjoyed this set in pre-release. I ended up playing a deck with Elves and Kithkin, so white, black, green colors. I think one of the underrated things about this set is obviously the changelings are really fun, the shapeshifters, in kind of supporting you when you're playing one archetype, but really nice in pre-release sealed draft because it helps you kind of fix any kind of missing numbers you need for a kind of tribal deck. So it's really cool. I think it's underrated how much it helps people out when they're doing events like that. So Scarblade's Malice, Elder Ante, Midnight Tilling, Wonderwine Destructor, Flamechain Mauler, Blossoming Defense, there's her Identity, Liss, Alana Dignitary, ooh, and a Bogart Cursecrafter. Some really cool art there. Again, I don't know what the right phrase is for this. I'm kind of referring to it as the fairy tale style art frame, but really, really nice art. Yeah, Goblin Warlock, Death Touch. Whenever another goblin you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty cool. For only a black and red as well. That feels like pretty good value to me for a 2/3. Then we've got our island. 6 commands, choose 2, so it's kind of merfolk. I don't know if you call them modal spells, but yeah, getting a sort of selection of choice. Massive Mysteries, so like the other pack I opened with the Elemental main phase commander, this is the alternate commander in that pre-con, if you're not getting one of those, but it's pretty fun as well. Sinar, Innovative First Year. So clearly this is linking in with the upcoming Strixhaven set with all these sort of like spellcastery characters. This one's Vivid, so to do with multicolors. So at the beginning of your first main phase, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. And crucially, it does count the hybrid mana in your CMC up in the top right. So this alone is 2 mana colors. So initially I wasn't sure about the Vivid mechanic, but realizing that it counts hybrid mana in this set does make a big difference. So that's going to be fun to try in draft. Ooh! Then we've got Hexing Squelcher. This is one of the very talked about cards in this set, particularly because it cannot be countered and it's red. As a red player, I do love that. But yeah, really great card. Has Ward as well for paying 2 life. And then spells you control can't be countered, not just this one too. So yeah, big fan of this card. It seems a little bit crazy, but if I'm playing it, I love it. Ooh, and then last but not least, Bloom Tender. Really nice in this art as well, mythic. So yeah, Vivid. For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. So this is pretty nuts. Like, you can effectively tap this for up to 5 colors. It doesn't count colorless, but you know, it's not too hard to set this up with that hybrid mana effect. Really, really great card, and again, just really stunning art that fits with the set. And then a Goblin token. Pretty good so far. That pack was pretty good, just with like Bloom Tender and Hexing Squelcher. You cannot go wrong with that, can you? On to pack 4. I do find these really terrible to open, to be honest. Although admittedly, not as bad as some other sets. I remember Edge of Eternities was like, they were like glued shut. It was crazy. I was always really scared of like bending the cards, but thankfully not too bad this time around. Okay, so pack 4, Temporal Cleansing, Brambleback Brute, Gangly Stomping, Gallant Foul Knight, Lissalana Informant, Shimwild's Growth, Unwelcome Sprite, Bogart Cursecrafter, Noggle Robber, red-green, lovely Full Art Swamp. I really love these Full Art lands. I know everybody has their own favorite sets and stuff, but like, I can definitely see this being one of the sets that I really actually make the effort to play like a full set of Lorwyn Eclipsed lands. They're just so, so nice. Glen Elendra's Answer, can't be countered, counter all spells your opponents control and all abilities your opponents control. Man, I'm salty enough when people counter me. This, I think, would particularly make me pretty mad, but fun card. Dread Tiller, when this creature enters, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Okay, ECC in the corner, so I guess this is from the Blight Commander Precon. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, but pretty fun card. Doran Besieged by Time. That is a really beautiful treatment as well, actually. So each creature spell you cast with toughness greater than its power costs 1 less to cast. Whenever a creature you control attacks or blocks, it gets XX till end of turn, where X is the difference between its power and toughness. So really fun for the Abzan Toughness Matters decks. There's lots of cards I can think of that go well with that, but yeah, that's really fun and just such a nice treatment in this sort of, again, fairy tale treatment. Overgrown Tomb. So this is one of our lovely shock lands, and I believe I'm going to spoil the next card. Blood Crypt, oh my god, okay. So both of these are shock lands, but I was going to say, if you flip these over, I believe, yeah, they've got the art of the other plane on the back. So it's Lorwyn and I believe Shadowmourne on each side. And again, same thing for the Blood Crypt. If I flip this over, this one's in foil. Yeah, you got different art on the back. That is really cool. And 2 in a pack as well is crazy. I know some people won't be super thrilled about that because you're, you know, they're kind of taking up your rare slots in the back instead of creatures. But, you know, when the art is that good, I don't think you could be mad about it. So nice. Okay. I believe we're on to pack 5 now, almost halfway. Pretty good so far, in my opinion. Shocklands alone make me pretty happy. And that Hexing Sculpture from one of those previous packs, really nice. There we go. Got to open. So, Wild Unraveling, Gold Meadow Nomad, Wonderbrine Preacher, Mist Meadow Council, Foraging Wickermaw, Wretched Wrench, Morkant's Eyes, Iron Shield Elf, Wonderwine Farewell, Swamp, another lovely full art swamp. I think this is a different swamp from the previous one we had, so there are a couple different art styles, at least 2 per color land. Then Grub, Storied Matriarch. Not a commander card, but obviously I think would fit pretty well with the other kind of goblin theme decks. Ooh, I think I'm missing one here. There we go. Sinister Gnarlback. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card and Blight 1. That is a commander card, so that must be from the Blight Precon, I would assume. Then Spry and Mighty with this really lovely treatment. Oh man, I really love these. That sort of just like, I don't know how to describe it other than fairy tale, but it really makes me happy. It has that sort of like storybook quality of like a children's storybook, but it's really charming. This card I played in my my sealed deck in pre-release, and it's just absolutely crazy. If you can hold someone off long enough, you can do some pretty crazy things with this card. I really love it. Then, ooh, we've got the hot boy Oko himself. So this is obviously a flip card. And we've got Sig on the back as well. Wowee. So let's flip that over. There's Oko just kind of being a hot boy. Pretty much all he needs to do. So green and black, yeah. Or no, green and blue even. And then Sig there. Again, another flip card. Turning into the Wonderbrine Shield. Man, that's really nice. Very happy with those 2 in that pack too. Goddamn. Because, yeah, Oko is a mythic actually. So that's very good. Excellent pack. Right, I believe we are halfway through now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. This is our halfway point. So pack 6. Fingers crossed. Will we get something even spicier? Who knows? I'm pretty happy so far, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna be that mad if I miss out on a showcase or even the serialized card. But if we could get it, that would be nice. So I'd be curious how people found their pre-releases. I thought this was a great set just from the one set of games I played last Friday. Let's see what we got here. Gravel Gill Scoundrel, Wary Farmer, Bogart Prankster, Unexpected Assistance, Heirloom Ante, Eclipsed Kithkin, Voracious Tome Skimmer, Thoughtweft Imbuer, Dose of Dongo, lovely Full Art Plains. Then into our rares, Champion of the Path. So that's another one of those champion cards I was talking about. Quite a few of these in this set. Then we've got Subterfuge in a lovely kind of borderless art, one of the commander cards. Again, I think this will be from the Elemental Precon. Then we got, whoa, Goliath Daydreamer. Now that art is incredible. Look, The thing with this set is, like, even when a card is a rare, when you get a card in this sort of art treatment, you can't help but love it and get excited about it. So, 2 and 2 red, Giant Wizard, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with the dream counter on it, instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. Whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among cards you own in exile with dream counters on them without paying their mana cost. That is crazy. Obviously, it's not fast to get out, so I don't think this is necessarily a standard playable card, but you could have some real fun with this in Commander and really push people to deal with it. But either way, looks absolutely fantastic. What a card. Then we've got Winnowing. I know this is one of the crazy showcase cards, but even in its standard art, very, very nice. And then Shadow Urchin. Again, really cool. I don't know how you pronounce this creature type. Is it oof? Without sounding like I'm doing the Roblox sound. Yeah, whenever it attacks, blight 1. Whenever a creature you control with 1 or more counters on it dies, exile that many cards, and then you can play them. Pretty fun. Anything special in the art there? Pretty cool. There we go. That's our halfway point. We've now got 5 left over after this one. So this is pack 7. Let's see what we get. Try my best not to spoil as I open them. I at least know the order that the cards are set in this time. I'm pretty sure in Final Fantasy they were in reverse, with like the rares were at the front, which was sometimes a bit of a letdown. You know, especially if you'd already drafted the set, you'd kind of recognize a lot of the cards behind the rare and mythic slots. So, okay, Stratosaur. We've got Bile Vile, Bogarts, Assert Perfection, Blight Rot, Rooftop Percher. Oh man, I really love the art on these Shapeshifter Changeling cards. They're so cool. That weird sort of like goopy green shapeshiftery. It's so good. Soulbright Seeker, Moon Vigil Adherence, Ever Strike's Gift, yeah, not Ever Strike's Gift, Gutsplinger Gang, then a really nice full art Plains. I think I had one of these in the previous as well, but again, really beautiful. I think this is like I think this is set in wherever the Kithkins live. It does have that sort of like Munchkin, Hobbity vibe, really nice. Then we've got Brigid, Klaken's Heart, rare. This is a legendary Kithkin warrior, and it can transform. There's a champion path there, but not to skip. The Ferrophore Young Yew. So I think that was the art card we got in the previous pack. This is a legendary Treefolk Druid. Lets you create saprolings equal to the number of creatures, number of counters among creatures a target player controls. And then you can double the number of each kind of counter on target creature. That is pretty nuts. And you could do some interesting things with that. There's one of the decks from Final Fantasy, the precons, that's very counter focused, that I'm forgetting right now. I think it's Tidus. Yeah, this could be pretty fun with that, doubling counters or messing around with counters. Champion of the Path, again, really nice. I think we had this already, but Elemental, very fun, really crazy art. I mean, 7/3 is pretty nuts as well. Pretty squishy to get rid of it, but 7/3, damn. Tam, Mindful First Year. This card is bananas. I saw some people playing this. I don't know if it's necessarily good in all formats, but each other creature you control has hexproof from each of its colors. Feels crazy, especially when this is a blue card, as if they needed more help blocking things. Even more difficult to deal with stuff. You can also tap it and make target creature all colors till the end of turn. So you can basically make sure that they're hexproof from anything if you tap Tam. So this is definitely going to be a target on the field, but if you can get out there and protect it, you can cause some real trouble. So that is really cool. And then we've got, a really nice foil treatment as well of Glen Alendra Guardian. Very, very nice. There we go. And then here's our art card as well. Cool. Pop that to the side. I know it's a mess over there. Let's ignore that. Okay, we are on pack 8, I believe, if I can count correctly. There we go. Again, don't destroy the cards. But yeah, I would love to see a showcase. To be honest, all the showcase arts are really good. I know in some sets people really like one art over the other, but I mean, from what I've seen, all of the showcase arts go pretty crazy. Okay, Reluctant Doomguard, Bogslither's Embrace, Burning Curiosity, Marrow Sky Swimmer, Wildvine Pummeler, Reaping Willow. Ooh, nice uncommon special art treatment there. Morkant's Loyalist. Other elves you control get +1/+1. I think I maybe had this in my pre-release. Very, very good for an elf deck. Rhyme Chill, Virulent Emissary. Really nice full art mountain there. So I think we're maybe still missing a full art island to have at least one art each of each color. But that is really, really nice. Big fan of that. Then we've got our rares. Endblaze Epiphany. So this looks crazy. Deals X damage to target creature. When that creature dies this turn, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to its power. Then choose a card exiled this way. Until the end of your turn, you may play that card. Interesting. I don't know if I'm smart enough to know if that's particularly good over some other cards, but it looks pretty cool. So it's definitely a could play until I'm told otherwise. Then we got Village Pillagers, Goblin Warrior. I'm not sure if this is in one of the precons. It must be, but again, pretty nice extended art. Then we've got Abigail, Eloquent First Years. This is another one of those, in my head, sort of Strixhaven linked cards that are probably going to come up again in Strixhaven's set. Flying First Strike and Lifelink. It's pretty nice for a 2-mana white-black hybrid. But also when it enters, up to one other target creature loses all abilities, and then you put one of the counters on that creature instead. That feels pretty good to me. You can be pretty tactical and, you know, give them a flying counter, but remove some other nasty stuff even in the later game. That's pretty nice, kind of how flexible it can be even when it's late game. Then we go, ooh, Sunderflock. This art is bananas. 7 and 2 blue, but the spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest mana value among elementals you control. So if you can cheat in some other expensive elementals or ramp to them really quickly, then it reduces the cost of this. It's a 5/5 flying. When it enters, if you cast it, return all non-elemental creatures to their owner's hands. Goodness me. So that's basically a board wipe if you're lucky enough to not be playing against elementals. So timed right, that could be pretty fun in Commander in an elemental deck. You'd have to plan it, but pretty good and just really stunning card. And then Bree of Clan Stoutarm. Also a bit of a book here with the text, but 2 red, white. You can tap it and pay a little bit. Another target creature you control against flying and lifelink. That's pretty nice. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You can then cast it without paying its mana cost if the spell's mana value is less than or equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. Interesting. So in theory, you're kind of wanting to give some big stuff flying and lifelink, hopefully guarantee hits by doing that, and then you can use that second effect. Pretty interesting. I'm sure there'll be people smarter than me who can come up with some pretty crazy decks around that for Commander. There we go. That's that pack. Put that over here. Okay, pack 9. We're getting towards the end here. I'm pretty happy so far. Let's see what else we can get. Feed the Flames. That's a crazy art on common. God damn. 3 in a red, deals 5 damage to target creature. If that creature dies, turn exile instead. I think it's pretty expensive to cast in standard, but it looks amazing. So it has that going for it at least. Then we've got Stalactite Dagger, Cinder Strike, Aquatex Defenses, Tend to Sprigs. I love the art for this card. It is one of my favorites in the set. It's so cute. Flame Braider, Thought Weft Charge, Wonderbrine Trapper, Glister Bairn, Full Art Forest. Oh, I love these. I think I've already seen a couple of these in pre-release, but I really want a full set of these if I'm running any kind of green colored decks in Commander. I really need some full sets of these lands. Then we've got Mutable Explorer. Again, lovely. So I think what we had was the like sort of fairy tale style frame on the other one in one of the earlier packs, and then this is the sort of standard art, but still really cool. I love it. It's sort of creepy in just the right cute way. Yeah, big fan of that. Then we've got Aberrant Return. So this is a commander card. Put 1, 2, or 3 target creature cards from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Each of them enters with an additional blight counter on it, basically. Pretty interesting. Again, feels like there's shenanigans there for blight decks to take advantage of. Pretty cool. Then we've got Twilight Diviner. Man, that art is crazy. So it's a rare, it looks like a mythic to me, but 2 and a black. Elf Cleric, when this creature enters, surveil 2, it's a 3/3 as well. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from a graveyard, you create a token as a copy of one of them. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That feels pretty crazy. Feels like you can do some pretty crazy things with that, but I guess it's not legendary creatures, it's not like a guaranteed commander effect, but nonetheless, pretty cool. Then we've got Chronicle of Victory. Excellent cards. This is just 6 mana, colorless, legendary artifact. As it enters, you choose a creature type, and then creatures you control of the chosen type get +2/+2, first strike, and trample. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, you draw a card. Pretty cool. Again, I think this is more of a, it's not actually a commander card, but I think this is more useful in commander if you're playing a tribal deck. But as someone who's a big fan of like the Bloomburrow tribal, like, you know, for example, rabbit decks, this would feel, I think, right at home there. Very, very fun. Then you've got, ooh, Collective Inferno. Extended art as well, and foil. So 3 red, Convoke. So that lets you basically use your creatures to pay for it. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type, and then double all damage that source you control of the chosen type would deal. So again, great for tribal decks. If everything's an elemental in your deck, if everything's rabbits, if anything's goblins, whatever it may be, you can double all the damage of it. That is really good. And it's an enchantment as well, so it's not even just, you know, this turn, it fizzles after that. Once you pay that 5, this is on the field until someone gets rid of it. Very, very good. And that is that pack. Excellent. Pop those there. Okay, pack 10. Get ever closer to the end of the box. This is the thing, I feel like in some sets, when you hit some rares, they're mechanically not necessarily what you want, or they're not the kind of thing you'd like to play, and then the art can be very, very hit or miss. For me, the art in this Lorwyn set is just hit after hit. I feel like you cannot go wrong with this style, or at least for me and what I like. Okay, Dawn's Light Archer, Spiral in Solitude, Unforgiving Aim, Tributary Vaulter, Scarblade's Scout, Gnarlbark Elm, Lasting Tarfire, Bristlebane Outrider, Thoughtweft Lieutenant. Very nice island there. Again, I think it's that sort of like night style, I'm assuming Shadowmourne setting, but really nice. And then into our rares, Champion of the Klakens. This is one of the white champions for Kithkin. So you have to behold a Kithkin as the extra cost and exile it, but then you give all your other Kithkins +1/+1. And when it leaves the battlefield, you can return that Kithkin that you beheld earlier. Pretty interesting. It does have flash as well, so that might come up too, but yeah. I'm not sure about all the champion cards, but I think either way, they're pretty fun as like a cycle to have as options for your different tribal and color decks. Then we've got, ooh, Rainslight's Copse. Not Shockland, I thought it was for a second, but again, really nice art. Speaking of nice art, look at that. Grub's Command, Kindred Sorcery Goblin. Choose 2. You can create a token as a copy of a target goblin. You can give creatures that a target player controls +1/+1 and haste till the end of turn. You can destroy a target artifact or a creature. Or target player mills 5 cards and then they put each goblin card milled this way into their hand. That is pretty fun for goblin decks. And again, I do like that, well, these aren't necessarily the cheapest cards to put to cast. The fact that you get 2 effects means there is some flexibility there for what you need at different points in the game. Then we've got Selfless Safe Right, Flash and Convoke, 3 and 2 green. When this creature enters, choose a creature type. Other permanents you control of that type gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. That is really, really fun as a flash effect, and you get a body on the board for it as well. That feels pretty good to me. Ooh, and speaking of showcases, we got Moonshadow. So it's not the Crazy Fracture foil, I'm more than happy with that. This is a regular foil, but Moonshadow is really, really lovely. So it's 1 black, elemental, 7/7, which sounds crazy until you read the text of the card. It has menace and it enters with 6 -1/-1 counters on it. Whenever one or more permanent cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere while this creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, you remove a counter. So if stuff goes to the graveyard, you take counters off of this. This can be pretty silly, and I have no doubt some people are going to work out how to kind of break or stress this card, but really beautiful art. Very, very pleased to have got that. These are crazy, some of these like elemental designs, they are absolutely nuts, but man, what a great card. And then art card at the back, lovely. Okay, that's pretty good. 11th pack, we just got our showcase card in the previous packs. That's a pretty good omen. Even if we don't pull anything crazy now, we got showcase. I really can't complain at that point. Get this second last pack open. Okay. So we've got Reckless Ransacking, Stoic Grove Guide, sort my cards there, Dream Caesar, Glamour Might, Gristle Glutton, ooh, Twin Flame Travelers. Again, it's so nice to have uncommons that still feel really special when you open them. The art style is just amazing on this elemental sorcerer creature. So flying, and if a triggered ability of another elemental you control triggers, it happens an additional time. Pretty cool. Again, in the right deck, I'm sure it's very, very fun, especially in Commander. I feel like Lorwyn Eclipsed is giving a lot to these sort of tribal decks that build around creature types. Very, very fun. Moonlit Lamenter, Pestered Wellguard, Pyrrhic Strike, another lovely swamp, Dawnhand Dissidents, creature, elf, warlock. Can tap it to blight 1, so you put a -1/-1 counter on something and you get surveil 1, or you can blight 2 and exile target card from graveyard. I think blight is only on your own creatures though, so keep that in mind, but again, in the right deck, that's not a problem. And then during your turn, you can cast creature spells from among cards you own exiled with this creature by removing 3 counters from among creatures you control, in addition to paying their other costs. Exactly. So you can use those blight counters that you put on stuff to help bring back stuff that's exiled. That is pretty cool. Ooh, Springleaf Parade. Oh man, I love the little creatures in this set. Are just so fun. So when this enchantment enters, create X/1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature tokens with Changeling. Those creature tokens you control have add 1 mana of any color. That is so good. So good. I love that. Again, if you're playing a tribal deck or even like an actual shapeshifter deck, if you want to go really crazy, that is really, really fun. I love that. I'll need to find a deck to play that in because I love the art on that. Ooh, then we've got Lockmare, which is also a really nice mythic. So 1 in the blue. Again, it always looks crazy with these with the CMC and then the 4/5 down the bottom. But again, it enters with 3 -1/-1 counters. And then you can pay to basically remove counters and get different effects. So, but again, looks so good in this art style and the frame. So nice. Such a good set. Ooh, then we've got Grub, Storied Matriarch, another potential commander card. Flips over to, I believe, a red version of Grub. So this is Storied Matriarch. I'll flip it over in a second. And then, ooh, Adept Watershaper. This card was an absolute menace in my pre-release, and I say this as someone who played it. Despite playing like Elves and Kithkin, I actually included this in my deck because it's just like other tap creatures when they're attacking get indestructible. That's crazy. why would you not do that? So that's what I did. But man, again, just these treatments make these cards just feel so much extra special compared to just the standard arts too. But yeah, the set is so good. I'll just quickly flip over that grub card as well so you can see. There we go. Notorious Auntie on the other side as well. Pretty cool. And then on to our last pack. Here we go, 12th pack of the box, our last one. It may not be anything crazy, but I'll tell you what, I've had fun opening this box. I'm very glad that I didn't pay like the full price that's going on market right now. I do think over £300 for even a collector box is pretty crazy. But the experience of opening this set with this art really does feel special compared to some of the previous sets. I know it's fashionable to hate on Spider-Man, but you know, I didn't enjoy it that much. I don't care that much about Marvel and Spider-Man, so seeing a set like this that I can get excited about the art and the setting is really nice. So on that note, Evolving Wilds, Moonglove Extractor, his glove, yeah, Liminal Hold, Silver Gill Peddler, Great Forest Druid, Squawk Roaster, Darkness Descends, Boulder Aggressor, Gathering Stone, and then a nice full art Forest. Again, I think it's the other types. This will be our Shadowmourne equivalent to the Lorwyn one. And then our last few rares, Doran Besieged by Time. So we had the sort of alternate fairy tale frame art. This one is the standard art, but again, really, really nice. I do really kind of want to build a commander deck around these guys with the toughness matter stuff. It's really cool. Then we've got Jubilation in a nice borderless art. Raiding Schemes. I think I got one of these in pre-release as well in the standard art, but each non-creature spell you cast has Conspire. Champions of the Perfect. As an additional cost to cast a spell, behold an elf and exile it. 6/6. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Whenever this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. 3 and a green for 6/6. Yes, you have to behold an elf and exile it, but it doesn't feel that bad. I do like some of these champion cards. I just need to think about the right deck to put them in. Obviously, this is screaming out to be put in some sort of elf-themed deck, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And last but not least, ooh, what a great way to end the box on one of these really, really special paper art style cards. I don't really know what the right way is to describe them, but the art on them is really lovely. So yeah, this is one of the special guest cards. They all have this sort of cutout style art on them. So this is Risen Reef, 1 green blue, elemental creature. Whenever this creature or another elemental you control enters, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, you can put it into your hand. So if it's a creature or something else, it goes into your hand. That is really cool. And what a nice way to end the box on that. So we got some really nice stuff in there. We got some Shocklands and everything else. But hey, between a Moonshadow and a Risen Reef, I'm a very, very happy boy today. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you for another opening soon. Cheers.